everyone. I hope you're doing absolutely fantastic because I am too. Okay. In case there are any, how shall I put this, technical difficulties that you might see during this stream, please let me know immediately. Today is zero broadcast to Twitch due to technical difficulties. Don't ask why, I have no idea. Okay, as per usual, good day, Peter Nuttall. As per usual, I have my lovely co-hosts, Stefan. Here we go. There you can see. And then, of course, Vertil. And in case my sound effects are too loud, please let me know, and I will turn the volume down. In case I can, I have yeah, I'm just there you go. Okay, moving on. What do I have in store for you tonight? It's the the announcement from the New Zealand government on that they are on the path of making, or they're closer, that they are really close, if they haven't done it already. They've banned conversion therapy. They've announced the ban of conversion therapy. This is, I picked this up from pinknews.com. For this article is from July 30th. Okay. Anyway, because the topic is queer issues from New Zealand, that brings me to the news from the Tokyo Olympics from today. I've had 2 live streams about Laurel Hubbard. Today I just picked up, my partner just told me just a few minutes before I started the stream. Laurel Hubbard has not been able to produce a result. Her 3 attempts failed, and hence she has now left the Olympic Stadium without a result. And there you go. To those who claim all the trans women go out and get all the medals from the cis women. No, trans women don't. So I've challenged several people who had disagreed with me. Funnily enough, as I understand it, these persons were white cis male. Yeah. So anyway, there's nothing wrong with being a white cis male. However, and then there's one person who regarding the conversion therapy issue in Canada. These people I've challenged to a debate on these subjects, but yeah, you probably, if you watched my live stream on Friday, you probably know what happened with these, what the ultimate result of these attempts to get them to debate me. Yeah, that chicken dad. Anyway, the actual beef tonight. Okay, let's bring it. Okay. Now. Okay, so pinknews.com, July 30th of 2021. So I need a drink. Okay. Now, New Zealand, and let's go to the article. New Zealand has introduced legislation to ban conversion therapy, insisting the horrific practice has no place in modern New Zealand. That is correct. They are very correct. Such is torture. So, the bill likely to pass under the country's Labour majority would make attempts to change a person's gender identity, gender expression, or gender sexual orientation punishable with up to 5 years in prison. And now that we think in US, in the US, I've talked a lot about the the different states trying to criminalize giving or providing gender affirming treatment to anyone, and if a doctor would, they would face losing their license and 10 years in prison. But in New Zealand, they would send the woo peddlers providing this kind of conversion therapy, making that illegal, which these are mostly religiously motivated people who then provide these treatments, shall we say, or behind bars, while conversion therapy that causes serious harm, regardless of age, would be punished with 5 years. Yeah, that's a good call, I think. Anyway, while introducing the legislation on Friday, July 30th of this year, New Zealand New Zealand Minister of Justice Chris Farfo said as follows: those who have experienced conversion practices talk about ongoing mental distress, depression, shame, and stigma, and go as far and even have so conversion practices have no place in modern New Zealand. Say Chris Farford goes on to say, they are based on false belief that any person's sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression is broken and in need of fixing. There's no such thing as a broken gender identity, expression, or sexual orientation. Of course, there are certain illegal paraphilias, such as I need to beep out certain words that might trigger people. Yes, and health professionals, religious leaders, and human rights advocates here and overseas have spoken out against these practices as harmful and having the potential to perpetuate prejudice, discrimination, and abuse towards members of rainbow communities. He added, Ah, oh, hello, I posted everything that changed. How much you been doing, girl? I hope you're fine. Um, okay, so although New Zealand is set to leap ahead of many countries where conversion therapy is still legal, including the UK, activists have expressed concern over some of the wording of the bill. Um, Shanil Lal, an anti-conversion therapy activist and survivor of the practice, told the Guardian that the term serious harm was problematic. They said it's they said it they said it implies that it is okay to cause harm if it's not serious harm. That is a very good point. Very good point. So it's yeah, that's a good, really good point. Really good point. Okay. While they said that the legislation had potential for real change, Lull added that the bill's wording also required survivors to prove intent in by the person or organization subjecting them to conversion therapy, which is legally difficult. Yeah, that can be problematic. I can see the point. But if if I think it should be clear as day that that there is always intent. If you provide conversion therapy, it is there is in by definition that is intent. There is intent to harm. It's been but conversion therapy has been um, described as torture by the United Nations some time ago. So go figure. Okay, and I'll have to take a brief. Be right back. Well. I hope everything is going fantastic and everything still uh, sounds and looks good on your end. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to the article. Oh, there we have it. Okay, that's a little delay there, but hey, it worked. Okay, so to the article. Um, a conversion therapy was, and then the little here said headline here says a conversion therapy ban was promised by Kiwi Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern during her election campaign. Ahead of her 2018 campaign, of her 2018 re-election, Kiwi Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern committed to a ban on conversion therapy. In an interview with LGBT plus publication, Express at the time, Arden said, as this prime example of where an element of our system allows for quite damaging activity, which in modern New Zealand should just not be happening. It shouldn't exist anyway, I think. Okay. And the Kiwi Prime Minister went on to explain that she began to feel passionate about banning the conversion therapy, which has often been described as torture. When watching the film Latter Days, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, do I pronounce that right? Please let me know. The 2003 film tells about tells the story of a relationship between a closeted Mormon missionary and his openly gay neighbor. And Arden, who was raised a Mormon herself, said that film never left me. It's one of the reasons I feel quite strongly about this policy. Yeah, okay, so there we go. Okay. Poster babe Linda, yes, Linda goes on to write. Wait, what? It's okay to cause harm, just as long as it's not really bad harm. Is it is it it there is there some form of continuation scale of harm that goes from okay harm to really bad harm? Yeah, I mean, apparently in there is harm, a serious harm, in Kiwi legislation on this matter. But yeah, it shouldn't this sort of wording, in my opinion, should not exist. Um, and it's really problematic. That is true. Uh, it's horrible that I mean, first of all, I think what would uh, bring some perhaps uh, correct or some help or ease to this situation would be making it to have a consensus by the United Nations to classify this as to classify conversion therapy as torture, which then would make it serious harm. I mean, most of us would probably agree that torture is always a big doo-doo, no, big harm. So, as I said, it has come from the UN that it should be torture. We have here forced conversion therapy should be considered a form of torture, says UN violence expert Mr. Victor Madrigal Borlos, an independent expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Okay, so moving on. Forcing someone to undergo conversion therapy against their will should be treated as a form of torture. Here we have a problematic wording already, against their will. There, in this wording, there must be shown a way. It must, in this case, in this wording, it would imply that the person who has been taken through the horrible experience of conversion therapy, he, she, or they should be able to prove somehow that they went through it against their will, regardless of, and the organization that put them through it says no, this person came in voluntarily. So how do you prove it? Peter Nuttall, I'm thinking lawyers are using problematic wording so they can be paid again to fix it. That might as well be the case. I mean, who knows? When people are greedy, all kinds of shit can happen. Okay, so Victor Madrigal Borlos, an independent expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity, has called for a global ban on efforts to quote-unquote cure LGBT plus people, arguing that they inflict severe pain and suffering on those that experience it. A report by Madrigal Borlos presented to the United Nations Human Rights Council took in more than 130 submissions from groups and individuals, including people who had been subject to quote, and I quote, okay, you can forced nudity, verbal offense, and humiliation. You can read the words there. I had to beep out some of them. And Mr. Madrigal Borlos has called for the practice to be outlawed globally, which should be the case. Okay, and he goes on to say that conversion therapy is inherently degrading and discriminatory. Linda, yeah, I didn't know that the UN declared it a form of torture. That yes, Linda, this is the one issue that it was put forth by this one guy, an expert on protection against violence and discrimination based on being LGBT plus. But okay, I'll go a bit further. I'm not as of yet 100% sure whether it's been officially declared as torture. But on the mind you, this was last year, so this could have been changed. This is something. This is just something that I just had to take it with. Uh, to take along on this particular episode of Monday News. Okay, so in a release on Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, Mr. Madrigal Borlos went on to say, and I quote, these interventions exclusively target LGBT persons with the specific aim to interfering with in their personal integrity and autonomy because their sexual orientation or gender identity do not fall under what is perceived by certain persons as a desirable norm. Peter Nuttall goes on to say conversion therapy could be considered as legalized gay bashing. You may be right, says Linda. Yeah, it's legal. It's legalized torture, Peter, and everyone else. It's legalized torture. You know that, right? It's and Mr. Madrigal Borlos went on to say, and I quote, they are inherently degrading and discriminatory and rooted in the belief that LGBT persons are somehow inferior and that they must at any cost modify their orientation or identity to remedy that supposed inferiority. Yeah, that's pretty much bang on, I think. By the way, please at any point, if you want to ask a question, and or make a point, just put it in the chat, and I'll answer when I check on the chat. All right. So, and please like and subscribe. That would really help my channel grow. In many ways, or thumbs up, thumbs down, I don't care. Just, and if you're watching this as a replay, please leave a comment in the description box. Sorry, the comment section, and check the description box down below as well. There are links to my playlists and Discord servers. Okay, moving on. Mr. Madrigal Borlos also stressed that the concept of quote unquote curing someone's sexual orientation or gender identity has been repeatedly debunked by science, and the victims of conversion therapy face long-term harm to their physical and mental health. That is very correct. And that's why it should be considered to be torture. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the seriousness of the harm, and whether or not it should be officially declared by the UN as torture? Please let me know in the chat, and if you watch replay, in the comment section below. And if you want to, this is one that I feel like I could debate as well. So if you want to debate me or have a further discussion, I've made arrangements so that there is I've made arrangements with another channel who will take me and another person to debate. All I need to do is just say when. All right. Send me an email. hidescorner@gmail.com. Please do not chicken out. That is the wrong thing to do. Linda goes on to say, this CT, that's conversion therapy, I assume, is really promoted by the far-right Christians here in the US. It has been banned here by licensed therapists, but unfortunately, religious leaders are doing their own here. Hey, come on! I'm not surprised that these still want to do it, but torture is torture, Peter. Anyway, going on. And Madrigal Borlos went on yes, he said, such practices constitute egregious violation of rights to bodily autonomy and free expression of one's sexual orientation and gender identity. And it goes on to say, ultimately, when conducted forcibly, they also represent a breach to prohibition of torture and ill treatment. In his recommendation, Madrigal Borlos called on nation states to enact ban on the practice, quote unquote, under the parameters established under the international human rights obligations pertaining to the prohibition of torture and cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment. And that is what he has based upon his claim. Okay. And subtitle, gay queer therapy is still legal in the UK. Unfortunately, it shouldn't be legal anywhere. It's just so fucked up. Excuse me. Yeah, phlegms. Well said, Haiti. Yes. Yes, it is still legal to offer, and I go on. It is still legal to offer conversion therapy in the UK, where it continues to be practiced quietly through faith-based groups, despite professional healthcare services having signed a memorandum of understanding disavowing its use. Okay, so okay. The UK government commits itself to banning conversion therapy as a part of LGBT action plan, LGBT plus action plan, unveiled in 2018 under then Prime Minister Theresa May. However, the proposals were never put into effect. How am I not surprised? A report emerged earlier this year, in later 2020, that Equalities Minister Liz Truss seen here, is planning to revive plans to ban conversion therapy as a bid to appease the LGBT plus community as she moves to gut trans rights protections. Yeah. Anyway, however, it is unclear whether the as yet unannounced proposal will also outlaw gender identity based conversion therapy in addition to sexual orientation based conversion therapy. Oh yes, there's this. Countries may ban the sexual orientation based conversion therapy. However, there are no guarantees that that the gender identity based is also banned. Peter Nuttall goes on to say, why in this day and age, are we still having these sort of discussions? Exactly, Peter. I wouldn't have said it better. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely ridiculous that we still have to go have this discussion. But I will keep talking about this and many other issues until as long as I can. As even though no one listened, I will bang on about this. This particular issue here and all these issues that I've addressed on my channel so far, and 50 something. I think I'm closer to 60 episodes of on babbling on about this subject. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was like 57 episodes, 55 or 57 episodes. So on my channel so far. And I'll keep doing this as long as I can. So Peter Nuttall goes on to say, don't stop until we have equality for everyone. Peter, I will not stop. I will do this as long as I can. And as long as necessary. And meanwhile, I will always have my birthday. Yeah.
Aww.
And Stefan there. That will be my co-host and watching over what I do. Anyway, please, if you have questions, comments, I will not be here for the entire night. But I would like to have a discussion here. So, if there is anyone watching who might want to come on for a bit, who might want to come on for a bit, to have their 2 cents, that can be arranged, but you don't have to. And by the way, I've been thinking about a subscriber hangout or Discord hangout to have one on my channel. Anyway, and on September 26th, I promise, there will be a very special episode on my channel. Why, you may ask? I think many of you watching now, most of you watching now haven't been watching me from the start, but September 26th was so just the background. I had this YouTube account for watching you stuff, and but I did not. Then I wanted to start my own channel. I revamped it, came up with Heidi's Corner, and I had my very first live stream on September 26th of 2020. So September 26th will be a Sunday this year, and I will have a first anniversary special live stream where I will have special guests, and I have already confirmed two. Um, all the people, all the guests you will see then next month. Oh, is that? Hang on. Yeah, next month. Yeah, so will be familiar faces to almost all of you. One confirmed just yesterday, or was it the day before? And the I'll give you a hint. All right, all these people who will be joining me on September 26th will be people, well, people who have have appeared on my channel before. So I can tell you at least two are now confirmed, and I am still waiting. Yes, yes, Linda, that is something to look forward to. I really looked forward to it myself. And of course, I will try to organize whenever I manage to get it to be technically I know it's technically possible, but I'll just have to take certain precautions, shall we say, to make or preparations to make it possible. To take guests as audio guests from perhaps from my channel Discord server, and then have people to kind of call in live streams what Borg Skeptic has had in the same format, pretty much. Peter Nuttall goes on to say, I look forward to all your streams. Aww. That's so very kind of you. Okay. There's a few more minutes if you have any comments, questions, etc., and I'll be going. And yeah, I've posted links in the description box down below to my playlists, which would be season 1, season 2 Monday News, special files, Friday Facts, and History with Haiti. And while I was gone, when I was on summer vacation, I had wonderful guests. On 2 wonderful guests, I had Mr. Conspiracy Cats kindly joined me again. kindly join me again and on my channel. Mr. 42 was here. Maybe I should make a some sort of an inscription on one of the top corners saying like Mr. 42 was here. Yeah, he's a nice lad. He's a nice lad. Okay, and this has been babbling on, going on for almost 50 minutes now. So I surely I hope you've enjoyed this live stream, and I hope you like, just tap like, up, down, tick the notification, subscribe button, tickle the notification bell for more such content. And please leave a thumbs up, thumbs down, check the playlists, send me an email, leave me a comment, and I will have Bertil and Stefan go for tonight. I hope you're having a good one.